Before we dive into heart-pounding dog stories, please subscribe to my channel. Many people watch videos without subscribing. Your one subscribe helps me to create stories like this, and hit the bell icon for more stories like this. The girl met the new dog, but when she extended her hands, he did something shocking. She was just a little girl in a bright dress, meeting the new dog for the first time. Her mother screamed for her to stop, but the child crouched, arms wide, reaching out. What the German Shepherd did next left everyone in shock and changed their lives forever. Before watching, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another heart-gripping story like this one. The sun had barely risen when Sophia stood at the front door, arms crossed tightly over her chest. Her stomach was knotted, her pulse quick. She had agreed to this, but now that the van was pulling into the driveway, she wasn't sure anymore. Inside, her 2-year-old daughter, Aria, pressed her small face against the window. She squealed, her little hands slapping the glass. "Mama, car. Car. It's not just a car, baby," Sophia whispered, forcing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "It's him." The van door slid open and a man in a worn shelter uniform stepped out holding a sturdy leash. At the other end of it was a large German Shepherd, his coat a mix of black and tan, his head held high. Even from a distance, Sophia could see the power in his body, the kind of power that made her instincts scream caution. The handler tugged the leash gently. "Easy, boy. Easy." Sophia felt her throat go dry. She had grown up around dogs, but this wasn't a playful puppy wagging his tail. This was a dog with a past. A dog with scars no one could see. Her husband, Marco, came around from the garage wiping his hands on a rag. "There he is." His voice carried a calm Sophia envied. "Strong boy. He'll be good for the house, for us. Especially now." She shot him a look. "Especially now? You mean after the break-in? Marco, we could have bought cameras, locks, anything but this." Marco lowered his voice. "Sophia, we need more than cameras. Aria needs to be safe. You need to feel safe when I'm at work. This dog, he'll protect you." She looked again at the shepherd. He wasn't pulling, wasn't barking, just standing, his ears pricked, his eyes sharp. But there was no softness in him, no wag of the tail, only silence. Aria darted away from the window and tugged at Sophia's dress. "Mama, can I see? Please." "No," the word came out too sharp. Aria blinked up at her, confused, her tiny mouth forming a pout. Sophia bent quickly, cupping her daughter's cheeks. "Not yet, sweetheart. Let him settle first." The handler brought the dog closer. His paws hit the driveway with heavy thuds, claws clicking faintly against the concrete. Sophia stiffened. The shepherd's head turned once toward the window, then toward the porch, nose twitching. "He knows there's a child inside," the handler said quietly. "That's why you need to take this slow. Don't rush introductions. Let him get used to the home." Sophia nodded, though her chest tightened more. Marco signed the papers, shook the man's hand, and with a smile that masked his own nerves, took the leash. For a moment, the shepherd resisted, standing his ground. Then he followed, his step steady, almost deliberate. Sophia backed away as they climbed the porch. She hated how her body betrayed her, but she couldn't help it. That dog could take down a grown man in seconds. What if he decided they weren't his people? Aria wriggled in her arms, trying to get down. "Mama, I want doggy." "Later," Sophia whispered. "Not now." Marco glanced at her, reading the fear in her face. "Trust me, he'll be fine." The shepherd's gaze cut to Aria, his eyes dark and unreadable. Sophia pulled her daughter closer, heart racing. When Marco opened the door, the dog hesitated at the threshold. He sniffed once, twice, then stepped inside. The leash went taut in Marco's hand as the shepherd scanned the living room, ears twitching, muscles tense. Sophia shut the door behind them, the sound echoing too loud. For a moment, the air felt heavy, like the house itself was holding its breath. Arya squirmed again, whispering in her small, stubborn voice, "Mama, please, I want to hug him." Sophia hugged her tighter, eyes locked on the shepherd's every move. "Not yet," she said, her voice trembling. "Not until we know what he'll do." The German shepherd turned then, his gaze landing squarely on the little girl in her mother's arms, his head tilted ever so slightly as if he'd already decided something. Sophia's pulse spiked, and in that suspended morning silence, as sunlight spilled across the floor, one truth sank deep into her bones. Bringing this dog home wasn't the end of their fears. It was only the beginning. Speech balloon. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Do you think Sophia made the right choice bringing the shepherd home? The morning had stretched into late noon, but the tension inside the house hadn't loosened. The German shepherd had explored each room with deliberate caution, sniffing corners, circling the furniture, pausing by the kitchen door as though mapping his new territory. Sophia followed each step with stiff shoulders, her daughter clasped tight in her arms. Marco noticed. "He's not doing anything wrong," he said quietly, resting a hand on her back. "You've got to give him a chance." Sophia shook her head. "You don't see the way he watches her." The shepherd was lying on the rug now, his ears flicking every time Arya giggled or babbled. His eyes followed her like a shadow. By the time the sun was slanting west, Marco suggested, "Let's take him outside. He's restless. He needs to stretch." Sophia hesitated. But when the dog rose, leash taut, and pawed at the door, she knew they had no choice. Out in the yard, the world felt bigger, safer. The shepherd sniffed the grass, pulling against the leash, ears twitching at the rustle of leaves. Sophia stood a few feet away, clutching Arya's tiny hand. "Mama," the little girl whispered, tugging. "Please, I want to play with him now." "No, Arya." Sophia crouched, her voice pleading. "He's not ready. You're too small." But Arya's stubbornness was stronger than fear. She slipped free from her mother's grasp, toddling across the grass. Sophia's heart lurched. "Arya." Marco caught her arm before she could rush. "Wait. Just wait." The shepherd had dropped to the grass, lying on his side, tongue out, panting softly. When Arya approached, his head lifted, his dark eyes locked onto hers. "Arya, stop right there." Sophia's voice broke, but the little girl only crouched low in the grass, spreading her arms wide, her face lit with innocent joy. "Doggy, come." Sophia pressed her hand to her chest, barely able to breathe. Her baby girl was right there, face to face with a powerful animal whose past they didn't know. The shepherd's ears pricked. His body went still. For a moment, the only sound was the faint hum of cicadas in the distance. Arya leaned forward, her tiny fingers stretching into the air. "Hi, nice doggy. Hug." Sophia's knees buckled. She whispered, "God, please." The shepherd's lips curled, not in a snarl, but in hesitation. He lowered his head slowly, sniffing the air between them. Arya giggled. "See, you like me?" Sophia took a step forward, panic rising, but froze as the dog shifted. His great head lowered all the way to the child's hand. Then the shocking moment came. The German shepherd pressed his nose into Arya's palm. Instead of pulling away, he stayed there, breathing her in. His body relaxed, tail twitching once, then again, this time softer. Sophia gasped, hand flying to her mouth. Arya squealed with delight. "He love me, Mama. Doggy love me." The dog licked her hand, then nudged her tiny knee with his snout. Arya toppled backward into the grass, laughing uncontrollably. The shepherd leaned closer, his tongue swiping her cheek. Marco exhaled finally. See, he's choosing her. Sophia shook her head, tears stinging her eyes. Or she's choosing him. For the first time since the dog had arrived, the tension broke. The German shepherd lay fully down on the grass, rolling slightly to his side. And Arya, without fear, climbed against him, resting her head on his chest like he'd always been hers. The image burned into Sophia's heart, her fragile little girl, her stubborn spirit, and the massive dog who should have terrified her, bound together by something she couldn't explain. Sophia knelt slowly in the grass, unable to hold back her tears. Maybe this was what he needed, she whispered. Not a guard, not a cage, just someone who wasn't afraid of him. Marco's voice softened. And maybe what she needed, too. The shepherd's eyes flicked up, locking with Sophia's. For a brief moment, she felt as though he was asking her directly. Do you trust me now? She reached out, trembling, and brushed his fur. Welcome home, she whispered. The dog sighed, long and heavy, settling his chin back onto the grass. Arya clapped her tiny hands, wrapping her short arms around his neck. Doggy mine forever. And in that quiet yard, Sophia knew the truth. The moment Arya extended her hands, the story of fear ended, and a new bond had begun. If your child reached out to a dog with such a past, would you let them or hold them back? Tell me your answer in the comment box below.